Ono originally identified 7 types of waste, and then later practitioners added the 8th. As we go through these, I want you to listen for the wastes that are hiding in your own processes. So, waste number 1 is transportation. This is the unnecessary movement of products, materials, or information. Every time you move something, you risk damage, loss, or delay, and you're not adding value. In knowledge work, this might be excessive email chains, or moving documents between multiple redundant systems, or information passing through unnecessary intermediaries. Waste number 2 is inventory. Excess inventory ties up both capital and space. It also hides problems. In manufacturing, it's literal inventory. In knowledge work, it's work in progress, unfinished projects, backlogs of requests, or half-written reports. Every piece of work you've started but hasn't finished is inventory. And it's costing you in context switching, in mental overhead, and delayed value delivery. Waste number 3 is motion. This is the unnecessary movement of people walking to get supplies, reaching for tools, or searching for information. In an office, it's searching through emails for that one single attachment, or clicking through 5 systems to find data, or attending meetings that you are not needed for. I worked with a team that calculated that they spent 40% of their time searching for information across disconnected systems. 40%! That is pure motion waste. Waste number 4 is waiting. Things like idle time or work sitting in queues, people waiting for approvals, information, decisions, or resources. This is often the biggest waste in knowledge work. How many times have you been ready to work on something, but you're waiting for somebody else? That is waiting waste. Every approval bottleneck, every dependency, every time work sits idle, value is not being created. Waste 5 is overproduction, making more than what is needed sooner than it's needed. This often is driven by efficiency thinking. We batch work because it feels efficient, but it creates inventory. And it often means that you're producing things that won't be needed or will become obsolete. In knowledge work, this is creating documentation that no one reads, building features that no one requested, writing reports that are left unread, or attending meetings that produce no action. Waste number 6 is overprocessing, doing more work than the customer values, gold plating, excessive quality beyond what is required, or using complex processes when simple ones would work. I see this constantly with presentations and slide decks. People spend hours making their slides perfect when a simple sketch would communicate just as well, if not better, or reports with extensive formatting in them when the context is what matters. Ask yourself, is this step necessary? Does it add value for the customer? Or are we doing it simply because that's how we've always done it? Waste number 7 is defects, errors, rework, scrap, incorrect information. Every defect requires time and resources to fix. But more importantly, defects that reach your customer damage trust and reputation. Lean thinking says to build the quality in, not to inspect the quality in. Prevent defects at the source rather than catching them later in the process. In knowledge work, this might be miscommunication that requires rework, incorrect data that leads to bad decisions, or bugs in software, errors in reports. Waste number 8 is unutilized talent. This is the waste of not fully engaging on your people's skills, knowledge, and creativity. It's the most tragic waste because it affects human potential. When you don't listen to routine frontline workers who see the processes daily, that is unutilized talent. When you micromanage instead of empowering, that is unutilized talent. When you don't provide growth opportunities, that is unutilized talent. You want people to contribute, and they want to contribute. They want to improve things. Lean organizations tap into that.